Number 10. 1967 Plymouth Satellite. Estimated value, $66,000. The 1967 Plymouth Satellite was the premium trim of the Belvedere model, which eventually became a standalone nameplate. Belvedere itself was notable for being the first Mopar vehicle to receive the 426 Hemi engine for NASCAR use, before it was made available in production cars in 1966. While over 1,500 Belvederes and Satellites were produced with the 426 Hemi engine that first year, only 12 cars were ordered with 460 horsepower, the Hemi, in 1967, and only 6 of those were Satellites. This makes the 1967 Satellite with a Hemi one of the rarest and most highly coveted Mopars ever. In fact, no verified, matching numbers 1967 Satellite with a factory-installed 426 Hemi is known to exist today. A 1967 Satellite originally built with a 383 V8, but later modified with a 472 crate engine, sold for $60,000 at a Mecum auction, which is considered relatively affordable for a classic Mopar. But a genuine 1967 Hemi Satellite would likely be worth several $100,000 or more if it ever surfaced. Number 9. 1970 Plymouth GTX. Estimated value, $110,000. The Plymouth GTX, first introduced in 1967, was built on the Belvedere platform but marketed as a gentleman's muscle car because it blended high performance with a more luxurious feel. While the Road Runner was designed as Plymouth's no-frills performance model, the GTX was meant for those who wanted both power and comfort. In 1970, the GTX underwent a complete redesign with smoother, more refined lines, replacing the sharper angles seen on previous models. From the start, the GTX was intended to be a performance car with only 2 engine options, the 440 V8 and the 426 Hemi 5.8. Only 72 of these 1970 GTX cars were equipped with the 426 Hemi, and it's unclear how many of them still exist, but it's safe to assume very few remain today. One well-preserved example, a 1970 GTX with a 4-speed manual, sold for just $110,000 at the Mecum Kissimmee auction in 2019, a bargain considering the car's rarity. Number 8. 1970 Dodge Super Bee. Estimated value, $199,000. The 1970 Dodge Super Bee, introduced in 1968, became the mascot of Mopar's B-body platform. Based on the 2-door Coronet, the Super Bee was designed as a no-nonsense muscle car, offering brute power at a relatively low price. It was part of the Scat Pack performance group, and although most Super Bees were powered by the 446 Pack EC8, the 426 Hemi was also available, albeit less frequently ordered. In 1970, 1,556 Super Bees were built, but only 36 were equipped with the Hemi engine, making them extremely rare. Despite being such a rare model, the Super Bee has not always been highly valued in the market. While some have sold for just over $100,000 in recent years, a restored 1970 Super Bee with a 4-speed Hemi engine was listed for $199,000 at a Bring-A-Trailer auction, though it didn't meet its reserve price, indicating its true market potential. Number 7. 1970 Dodge Coronet RT. Estimated value, $247,500. The Dodge Coronet, one of Dodge's longest-running nameplates, started out in 1949 as a full-size luxury vehicle, with even an 8-passenger limousine variant. By the 1960s, it had become one of Dodge's best-selling models, offered in various body styles, including 2-door, 4-door, and station wagon variants. When equipped with the 426 Hemi in 1970, however, the Coronet RT became a performance icon. Only 14 Coronet RTs with the 426 Hemi were produced in 1970, which makes these cars some of the rarest and most valuable Mopars. Although a few have been sold for over $100,000, many are modified or have non-original parts. A genuine 1970 Hemi Coronet RT recently fetched $247,500 at auction, but this is a fraction of what such a car could be worth in the future. One of only 2 1970 Hemi Coronet convertibles was restored on the Graveyard Cars TV show and could potentially be worth $1 million or more if it ever goes to auction. Number 6. 1970 Plymouth Road Runner. Estimated value, $341,000. The Plymouth Roadrunner, launched as Plymouth's affordable, no-frills muscle car, was designed to deliver performance without all the luxury trappings of more expensive models. Buyers could even order it without carpets, rear seats, or radio, and it came with basic steel wheels. The money saved on these options could be put towards the powerful 426 Hemi engine, which many buyers opted for. In 1968, there were 2,289 Hemi-equipped Mopars, with almost 1,900 of them installed in Roadrunners. But by 1970, only 72 Hemi Roadrunners were built, making them extremely rare and highly sought after. The price for a first-generation Hemi Roadrunner ranges from around $66,000 for a more common example to over $341,000 for the 1970 models, which are considered the most valuable due to their rarity and historical significance. Number 5. 1970 Dodge Charger RT. Estimated value $352,000. The second-generation Dodge Charger, built from 1968 to 1970, is considered one of the most iconic muscle cars in history, partly due to its starring role in TV shows like The Dukes of Hazzard and the Fast and Furious franchise. While the Charger was hugely popular, only 872 of the 2,532 second-gen Chargers produced in 1970 were equipped with the 426 Hemi engine. Of those, only around 112 were Charger RT models, making them exceptionally rare today. The exact number of surviving 1970 Hemi Chargers is unclear, but estimates suggest only 15 to 50 of these cars still exist. Because of their rarity and desirability, well-preserved examples of the 1970 Hemi Charger RT regularly fetch prices in the mid-six-figure range at auctions. Number 4. 1971 Dodge Charger. Estimated value $550,000. Though the 1971 Dodge Charger may not be as universally beloved as the previous generation, especially due to its more controversial Coke bottle styling, it's actually worth more than the second-gen cars when equipped with the 426 Hemi engine. The 1971 model year marked the debut of the new design, which would become the final generation to feature the 426 Hemi. Just 356 Hemi-powered Mopars were produced in 1971, with only 85 of those being Chargers. This makes the 1971 Charger RT with the 426 Hemi a highly valuable and rare collectible. These cars have seen increasing value over time, and well-preserved examples can fetch over $550,000 at auctions today. Number 3. 1966 Dodge Coronet Deluxe 4-door. Estimated value $660,000. In 1966, Dodge made the bold decision to offer the brand-new 426 Hemi engine in a 4-door Coronet Deluxe, which was part of an effort to promote the new powerhouse engine in a vehicle that wasn't traditionally considered a muscle car. A total of just 5 of these unique Coronet Deluxe 4-door cars were produced, and despite their unusual configuration, these vehicles have become highly prized by collectors. Remarkably, all 5 are still known to exist, although they don't come up for sale very often. At a Barrett-Jackson auction in 2007, one of these rare cars sold for an impressive $660,000, and it's likely that today, with the market for rare Mopars continuing to grow, these cars would fetch even higher prices. Number 2. 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Estimated value $1,650,000. The 1970 Plymouth Superbird, with its radical design and large rear wing, was initially a commercial failure, as dealers struggled to move these cars off their lots. However, over time, the Superbird has become one of the most iconic and sought-after Mopar vehicles, especially those equipped with the 426 Hemi engine. Only 135 Superbirds were produced with the Hemi, making these cars exceptionally rare and valuable today. A 1970 Superbird with the 426 Hemi regularly commands prices above $1.5 million at auction. Of the 1,935 Superbirds built in 1970, about half still exist today, which only adds to the rarity and desirability of the Hemi versions. Number 1. 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. Estimated value $1,950,000. The 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona was created to be the ultimate high-performance vehicle for NASCAR. breaking the 200 mile/hour barrier in testing. However, to meet homologation requirements, Dodge needed to sell a certain number of these cars to the public, which led to the production of just 503 Daytonas, though some estimates suggest the number may be even lower. The Charger Daytona, particularly the rare 426 Hemi versions, is one of the most coveted Mopar muscle cars ever made. The car's combination of rarity, racing pedigree, and distinctive aggressive design has made it one of the most valuable muscle cars, with prices for Hemi-equipped Daytonas regularly exceeding $1.9 million at auction.